And we're back. What's going on? Welcome back to the Shakedown Mafia Racing YouTube channel. What's going on, everybody? Well, I got some good news, kinda. We're in here fabricating a new gas pedal bracket. And did a lot of research on Google. And there's not much on gas pedal brackets for a C5. Now I found some for a C6 Corvette, and they kind of look the same. They kind of look the same, but they're on a different side, so I'm not sure. So I made one kind of crudely just to get the car moved to where we need to get it moved, and then I'll disassemble it and build a better bracket. But kind of did all the R&D, the research, and where everything is at is where everything needs to be at on the next one. To be honest, this one probably would last a lifetime if you didn't want to stick your foot through the floorboard and just stomp the shit out of it. And I don't even think it's going to matter then, to be honest. I mean, all I did was I took the pedal and I cut the base off of it. I literally cut the base off of it to get the base there. So what we had to do, the firewall is pretty thick and it's fiberglass on the vet. We had to go through the mounting plate that holds these bolts on here and here. It's steel, aluminum. I think it's aluminum. It looks like aluminum. Pretty sure it's aluminum. Wasn't thick, but I ran into like a T channel. Like it was kind of right in the middle of it, I guess, for support. So it took a little bit to get through that, and then get through the firewall was nothing. So this is where the cable is actually going to roll through the firewall, and the backside is going to mount behind this. Then the locking nut is going to come on this side. So then the cable is going to come straight directly up underneath of this. Now this is only going to work for the pedal that I've got, I guess. I'm not sure. I don't know how all the other pedals are designed, universal pedals or whatever. The bracket that I found, or the two brackets that I found for the C6, they came with the pedal. They were $350, $375. I was like, whoa. If I could just, mimic what I got here off of some bare steel and let you paint it, I could probably sell them for $150 maybe. I mean, it's not a lot of genius fabrication skills at all. But the pedal that we're working with that fits how I made this, it's pretty cheap. Come from Speedway. I mean, I'm happy with it that it's a pedal, I guess. Shiny, it's aluminum. I've beat the shit out of it already. I mean, it's a gas pedal. I mean, you're never gonna see that unless you're like up underneath the dashboard. And those are only two types of people that are up underneath the dashboard. People that are trying to steal your car radio, and hookers. Anyway, not happy with the quality. Both sides are tight on this thing. In Speedway motors, I don't know what y'all were thinking, but I mean, there is a lot of flex. Look at that. I mean, that's a $60 pedal. I mean, $60 is $60, but still, I mean, you got plastic bushings. They're not even tight in there. I mean, that's flex. I guess when you put tension on it from the the throttle body with spring pressure and everything else, I guess it feels and looks a little better. I mean, there's quite a bit of play. So yeah, there's room for improvement there when we make the new bracket. Not kind of happy with that. That's kind of a waste of, $53. I mean, I kind of just wanted to get this bracket built and this pedal in with the cable so we can move the car. Now, like I said, we are moving the car. So there's some things that, you know, needs to be done quick, fast, in a hurry. I mean, I could have took my time and everything else, but I've got a lot on my plate. I've got a lot on my plate right now, and I've got a lot of things to do. So getting this car finished, put back together, not finished, however you want to look at it, is kind of where we're at. Don't have a lot of time. So what we got to do here next is the cable. It's a steel braided cable. And so the cable is going to come through the firewall, literally, through a 7/8 hole. I mean, the whole cable, the whole assembly, the whole cable. It's going to come through the firewall. It's got a pretty long shank on the end of it. Now the back side of the cable is going to mount up under here so we can get a wrench on it. I made it kind of deep enough to where we can get a wrench underneath of it. Maybe if we shave one down, or maybe the wrench actually fits behind it, because the firewall, or the backing plate, is here. I mean, the firewall's down there, but the shank on the end of it, I mean, it's going to come out. It's going to come out probably that far. Maybe that far. Probably about that far with the end and the shank. So what we're going to do is, I done took the cable out already. We're going to cut the shank down as far as we can get it. And what I mean by the shank is this end here. This is the end that we're going to be hooking it up to. Because if you notice, that's not going to be enough room for a Corvette firewall, pedal plate, and everything else. It's not. So we're going to up that through there, and we're going to cut off, I don't know, half of those threads maybe. Probably half of those threads. That way we can take that pedal from being way up here, because that is going to be your basic, you know, end of pedal stop. So we're going to take half of that. We're going to cut our distance in half with that, and we're going to leave a little bit of wire out hang on that. That way it's not totally up against that. It's kind of closer. That way we don't have our, I mean, yeah, this pedal has almost infinite adjustment on it, but I don't want it sitting way out here, and I don't want this being all out here and everything else. I want that to be a little bit tighter than what I want. So bracket C5. If you're interested, just hit me up. I mean, it's very simple. Alright, y'all, so what we got here, I went ahead and cut down this here. Of course, it was like super long. Yeah, you're probably looking at that weld right there. That's just a bunch of tacks. You know, I am a welder by trade, but when you're using gasless flux and your steel is still clean, still looks like shit. I ain't got no money to be going and buying a bunch of bottles of gas and stuff just for a simple little project like this. Plus, I probably had about 12 or 13 beers when I said, fuck it, I'm going to go ahead and tack that in. But anyway, that thing was probably about that long. So we had to cut it down just enough to give us some thread. Now, tighten the piss out of it, and it's aluminum. I tightened it to the point to where I didn't want to tighten it anymore. So what I'm going to do is I marked it here. I'm going to mark it on on the bolt here also. Sort of kind of like a torque thing that guys do when they torque heads or whatever, or you know, that way nobody goes back behind them. I kind of want to just do that and give it a little bit of wear and tear, see if it moves. Because when I go to replace this bracket and make a nice new one, once we get the car where it's going, you know, I can tell if some upgrades need to be made, like a tab or something made to where, you know, the throttle cable doesn't come loose. And to be honest, you know, that would be a problem if that came loose. If that came loose, either you're stopping or you're going really fast. Of course, this is a manual car. We can go ahead and throw it in neutral and, you know, push clutch in and be done. This here, like I said, Speedway pedal, not too happy with it. It has got just so much play. I mean, it's just, I mean, look at the whole thing wiggle. I mean, the bracket isn't even moving. I mean, for, you know, $53, probably $60 shipping and handling when it's all said and done with. I'm kind of upset. I probably should have ordered a better one. But this is a good pedal to kind of, you know, do what we need to do, get it going, and, you know, just fool around with and see how this is actually going to work. Had to drill the holes out here. I did the first 2 holes. The third hole kind of just left. You know, if something happens to the first hole, we can put it down to the second hole. Also had to take this, and before we put the pin in, had to go in between the ears and take some 320 and kind of smooth out. Had some dross in there, I guess where they laser cutted it or milled it, or I guess after they had milled it and then drilled it, it had some dross in between where the pin goes. So it was kind of, well, I'm not used to this. It was kind of sticky to where it didn't want to roll right. But we got nice, decent action going and exactly where we need it to be. So I went ahead and assembled everything. I tightened the bolts, tightened that, put the snap ring in that, and we're going to assemble this in the car. And we're just going to take that wire and we're going to go ahead and run that wire through the firewall and just stick it out of the firewall. That way all I got to do is push the outer housing straight through the firewall and then couple up with that. Make sure it's in, or not couple up with that. Couple up with that, and then we can go from there. I will post some pictures on some forums on like C5 Corvette and C6 Corvette forums on Facebook. Like I said, this is just shits and giggles. I got to get this shit going. I will be getting some 3-inch steel because that is exactly where it needs to be on this side, so you don't have to weld a tab to anything. And this whole piece can be solid. I mean, you can go all the way out here with it when you make yours. You can come all the way out here. All you got to do is cut a relief in here and here, so you can get, you know, this bulkhead on the back side in. That way it fits. So I'll check back with y'all here in a few minutes. Guys, so we're inside the car now, and I got the pedal installed. Like I showed you before, we cut down everything. We adjusted the pedal. I don't know why I keep saying we. It's just me. It's always been just me. I don't get no help. I only do this on my spare time. You're lucky I'm even documenting it. But yeah. I don't know if you can see, but we got it all up in there. There's freaking aluminum everywhere. Probably a better shot. Y'all can see how we went through the firewall, and then we put our stop right there. See how loose this pedal is? Look. See how loose this pedal is? Man, that is junk. Let's see this here. And that is tight, y'all. Speedway motors. We're gonna have to get us a better pedal. Definitely. I mean, that's horrible. But we got it. We got it up in here in a C5. And that's how you guys got to do it. I hope this gives some type of inspiration. I'll check back here in a few minutes. Alright, so made a throttle body cable bracket. Yeah, I got into it. It's hard to cut that out without getting into that, and it was already bent trying to fit it. As you see, I don't have any holes in it yet. That's the problem. It's aluminum. I kind of cleaned it up or whatever. It's got some scratches in it from where it's been moved around. That's kind of what it started from, to be honest. Started from basically that. It was a piece that came down. It was bent, and then that's what came out of the other piece of that. It actually had some slots in it, like so. Actually, like that. Of course, it was on the other side. It was like that. Slots got cut out of it. It got cleaned up and everything else. So what we're going to have to do is I'm going to take the bolts out of the intake, and I'm going to take that. I've got calipers and everything. I do pretty good with calipers, measuring hole distances and centers and stuff like that. But I'm being lazy today. I'm literally going to take the Play-Doh, wrap it around in a couple spots, and smash it down on top of the holes and get the indentation, and then I'm going to center punch the Play-Doh, and that's where the holes are going to go. Alright, so that's simple. You take the big tits that look like your cousin's mom's friends that got drunk by the pool's dimples that are hanging out, and you just stamp the center of them with a punch. I mean, simple as that. Just stamp it with a punch. Right there. Just stamp it. Stamp it right in the middle of the nipple. And you should be pretty close. And if you're not, waller the fuck out of it. I mean, that's what they make washers for. I'm just saying. And so, guess what, guys? We got the bracket drilled. Drilled to fit to the intake, thanks to the Play-Doh. Got the holes nice and countersunk, kind of cleaned up. We don't need the countersink, but guess what? It cleans it up, makes it look better, plus it deburrs it. We got this cut, or drilled. Yeah, that gash right there, that kind of sucks. Just trying to cut that right there and kind of got into it. Took a little bit of green steel wool, or green Scotch-Brite, excuse me, and kind of roughed it up a little bit from all the scratches, and threw some, what is that, Chemical Brothers, like scratch and swirl removal. Took a microfiber cloth. I'm going to tell you what, all the scratches that were in that thing, it cleaned it up, no doubt. Chemical Brothers to the front for the win. Alright, so let's get this on the car. Alright, so we got the bracket on. Thing fits up like a dream, guys. Fits up good. Had enough thread on the bolts. They're nice and tight. That thing fits up really nice. Fits up really nice right there. Pretty good. In line with the throttle body. I mean, it's like spot on. So I'm really happy with that. Everything's bolted up. next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take and we're gonna cut down that cable. All right, y'all. So, what I recommend: C5 cable conversion. Fuck drive-by-wire. People are rolling over in their graves probably right now. So I got a PQY, $18, $19 off of Amazon. Still braided. It's got a nice little end there. Nice little end there. This end comes free floating. So I got the 36 inch. I cut 7 inches off of this, and hopefully it fits like a dream. Haven't put it on yet. This is pretty much a DIY project that anybody can do at their house. If you're like, hey, screw drive-by-wire, it's too many wires, I'm doing a whole bunch of crap, I want to make cool shit, I want it to look cool, you can do it. I mean, you can do it right here, and you can do this in your driveway. You don't need a garage, you don't need a carport, you can do it in your driveway, and it ain't going to take long. This video is probably going to be explaining like 93.256% of anything that you're going to run into other than your fabrication skills. I can't help you there. So, cable, cut it down, 20 bucks, Amazon. It's pretty nice. It's got a plastic lining, braided steel outer thing, and then aluminum ends. Alright, y'all, check it out. So, I got her on there. C5, fully converted over to drive-by cable. We got her cut down, we got her ran. She's nice and smooth. She's smooth even in the pedal. Got her pretty much centered up in there. Can't ask for better freaking clearance than that. I don't know what to do with all this extra cable though. Not sure what to do with that yet. I need to get my soldering gun out. Maybe cut it, then solder the end of it maybe. Possibly. She's working great though. Here, check it out. Let me get in here and I'll zoom in on it for y'all. Let me get my... I'm thinking that I'm going to have to put a throttle stop on it though. I mean, she is smooth in the pedal. There's no... I mean, there is no freaking... no delay. No anything. So yeah, we got it. We did it. Not bad for a couple hours for the past couple nights getting it together. Y'all thought this was one video. No, this took a couple nights to do. I mean, I work all day long, and then I gotta come home and deal with kids and possibly go to the store. I mean, do regular dad things. So, I'm gonna tell you, if you're any kind mechanically inclined, you can do this. I got faith in you. DIY skill level, probably on a 1 to 10, it's going to be probably a 5. If you can just reference my video, kind of gather it all together, think about it, write it down. You can put that in here. I mean, there is no car that you can't put a gas pedal in. Just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of thinking, and it really doesn't cost a lot of money if you utilize, your old pedal like I did. Of course, I work at a place that has steel all day long. I'm going to get another piece of plate steel, and I'm going to make another one once I get this car moved. Make it better, nicer. I mean, who's going to see it? I will, of course. So I'm going to make one a little bit nicer. That way I know it's nicer. So, guys, C5 Corvette drive-by cable. Easily done. Not hard. I've gave you step-by-step instructions, kind of, sort of. A lot of it y'all can figure it out. So this video might be a little bit longer than what y'all used to. You drive-by-wire guys can suck a big fat one. Because, I mean, you know, what if something was to go wrong? That's what y'all say about cables. Anyway, I'm up out of here. And I'm going to tell you what. If you get bored, you don't have nothing to do, get out in the garage. Do something. Build something. I mean, utilize your time. Hell, anything. Sweep the floors. We'll see you next time. Love y'all. Please comment, like, and subscribe.